Hello, I'm Jomika and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today, let's take a look and see what missions we have. We have an Explore Moho. They want us to stay in a stable orbit, which we cannot do with the current guy. They want us to position the relay moon in an adjusted orbit. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how much delta V we have on this guy and where they want us to send it. So that's not a huge adjusted orbit. I assume this is the adjusted one. Yeah, it has to be. So let's see your delta V. It's pretty low. You don't have Mac Jeb on it, so we can't really see how much delta V you have, but I'm pretty sure we should be able to do that one. So we can go ahead and accept that mission. If we don't do it, I don't think we'll lose much money, but that's fine. So we have 9 years to complete it. We'll get an advance of 34,000. Is this the right one? I don't know which one I clicked on. We'll get an advance of 6,000, and if we don't get it, we'll just give that 6,000 back. So we can do that one. Position satellite in a specific orbit of the moon. That will have to launch a new satellite, and I don't know if I want to do that right now. Science data from the surface of the moon. We don't have any rovers or anything like that, so I don't think we can do that one. Temperature survey, science data from around Duna, science data from surface of Duna, science data from surface of Ike, position a satellite around the sun. Well, why don't we just start by going out here and getting that huge dollars of 6,600. So we'll fly this guy. We will get you adjusted. Let's actually make the maneuver node. You are going in this direction. So we are going to want to do a maneuver node here. And we're just going to radial burn. And shrink that down. So it'll be like that, and that'll be 50 meters per second. So that should be plenty. I'm pretty sure we have burn time of 1 second. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have plenty of delta V here. So we'll point at that node. We will warp here. Hopefully you are going. Yeah, you are going in the correct direction. And looks like we got a new milestone. We escaped the gravitational influence of Moho. So that's that probe we sent last episode to Moho, which ran out of delta V. Actually, it didn't run out, but it didn't have enough to get into a stable orbit of Moho. So we just left it, let it go on its way, and it is floating in space now. So we'll get down to about 1 second here. And then we can go ahead and do this burn. So yeah, I mean, I just did one little tick and we are basically almost there. And it looks like we already got it. But we'll go ahead and finish this burn. Close enough. So now we just wait a few seconds and it should say, good job, you did it. Here's your money. There we go. Contract complete, $16,000 or Spaceos, whatever you want to call it. And this guy is all good. And still plenty of fuel remaining. So we'll go back to the Space Center. I think we have about 2,000 science to spend also. Yeah, just about 2,000. $1.2 million. What do we have? Yeah, let's just cancel this one. Aw. So sad. That's fine. Position relay sat 1 in an adjusted orbit of Kerbal. Let's take a look at that one also. I do want a little bit more money. Which one? So you probably want relay sat 1 to adjust here. It seems like that'll be a lot of delta V, actually. And I don't know how much you have. I'm sure you have a lot just because you're so close. You do. This is another one of those crappy guys. But let's see. If we did this maneuver here, I think you were kind of like shot off about that far. Yeah, that's a lot of delta V. 560. I think we're going to decline that one. We canceled that contract, so we didn't get that money. Yeah, I don't think we have enough delta. Well, I mean, it's close. I don't really know how much delta V is on that spacecraft, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And it's only 17,000. Position satellite in a polar orbit. Could be that one too, but that would have even costed more. That one. Science data from around Duna. And we do not have a satellite around Duna. I think we tried to do that in another episode, but our dishes were not powerful enough. So maybe we want to send something to Duna. Or Eve. Or... I mean, Duna is kind of what is all the missions are saying right now. And you're about to... Oh, you are leaving Duna still. So we want Duna up here when we leave. So we're not going to worry about that yet. Unless we want to time warp for like a year or 2 years. I don't know how many years it would be, but maybe we try Eve. Why don't we send something into orbit anyways? We'll just go ahead and use the same stuff that we've been using. We'll use this relay satellite. Is that... Yeah, I think that's the one we've been using. And we'll go ahead and launch this vessel. We will put it in Kerbal orbit, and it can just sit there and wait until there's a good window for something. And then we can also use this vessel to test when is a good time to do this, do these launches. So I'm going to set all this up, and we'll do a little fast forwarding, get this into orbit, and I'll join you back after he is in space. All right, we are in space. So what we can do is we'll just take a look and see. I guess it's kind of cheaty, but it's okay. I don't feel like exiting out of the game just to figure out when is a good time to leave. So we'll set target, and we will open the maneuver planner and go ahead and do an advanced transfer to another planet. And we can do ASAP. I guess there is no time you can get there. Computation not finished. Well, let's go back here and jump out, remove all nodes, reset. There we go. Reset is what we wanted. So we can leave in a year, almost 2 years. That's like the perfect time to go, and that'll cost us 1,000 kilometers per second. If we left ASAP, that's 1.2. So that's no real difference. We can do that. We're not going to try Moho again, just because it was too much delta V to get there. And yeah, it didn't really work out so well last time. And this one we'll leave about 2 years for another 1,000. Leave now for 4,000. Yeah, that's like the worst time to go there. And I'm guessing this one is about the same. Reset. 1,500 to get there. 3,000 to get there if we left now. So let's go to Eve. That seems pretty good. Let me just actually check and see how much delta V it takes to be captured by Eve. I have a little delta V map that I use. That kind of tells me all the delta V's to get places. So to get an orbit, it's 3,400. To escape Kerbin's sphere of influence, it's 950. And we said we wanted Eve. So it'll be another 1,300 to get into a circular orbit of Eve. So that'll be 1,000 right there. Where did this guy go? Delta V stats. So about that, yeah, this guy should get into orbit no problem. I should have used this for Moho too, because it was another 2,400 to get into orbit. So that was my bad last time. And we didn't use the most efficient stuff. So we will leave ASAP. We will create the node. In 23 minutes, this guy will fire, and that should get us right there. So we will execute the next node, which is this node. And yeah, we can get at least towards Eve. I know this isn't the missions we accepted, but that's okay. We'll get some more science, and we can work on unlocking more of the science we want. So we'll go ahead and wait for this to spin around and point the right direction. We can go ahead and close this out. We can close that out also, and we'll just wait here until you start to do your burn. So you're gonna do it here. And yeah, I love having MechJeb. It makes things so much easier, because if I had to do these on my own, it would kind of ruin the fun of the game for me. Why did you stop? That's fine. Yeah, I don't feel like spending all those hours just trying to figure out how to get to other planets. I just want to get to the planet, do the things I kind of set out to do, and focus on that part of the game, not all of the math and when's the best time to leave and all that stuff. So MechJeb is, in my opinion, makes the game much better to play. I am thinking about doing a modded series for Kerbal Space Program. So if you have any mods that you want me to try, feel free to let me know, and I can look into those. I forgot that we need to stage. Whoops. So yeah, this will stage and immediately fire. So go ahead and do that. There we go. So yeah, you are headed out. You are going to escape Kerbal, no problem. You should be very close to getting to Eve. So let's focus. Oh, you're over here. We'll focus on you just to see if we do get an encounter. And yes. So it's not quite perfect just because of the staging. So what we can do is go ahead and do a little burn ourselves. You can right click on the PE just to make sure that you are, or if you right click on it, it'll keep it up so you can see how far away you are. Let's go ahead and point maybe this way, and we'll see if this will bring it down this way. And it does, so that was the correct direction. We'll probably do sort of equatorial orbit. Alright, and then we will go back to prograde. About prograde, I don't know. Yeah, and then we'll head kind of this direction. We get 2 birds, 1 stone. And what is... Oops. Just get it a little bit closer. Alright. Eve. 100k. So yeah, we'll aim for about 100k. We can adjust this when we're a little bit closer. But let's go ahead and just do it now, I guess. Actually, let's not worry about getting equatorial. Just because I kind of like a polar orbit. And let's downgrade this engine. So we'll just slowly work on getting it a little closer. And we'll aim for about 100k so we can get a low orbit pass. And then once we do that, from here we can get into orbit. Or, yeah, we'll get into orbit from here. And then once we're in orbit, we can raise this back up. So we always have a connection, or most of the time we'll have a connection back to Kerbal. And that is 131 days from now, we will be at Eve. So let's go ahead and add our maneuver here. And this will cost us... Oops, that's not the one. I saw the line move and I thought that was it. So this will cost us 700 meters per second. And we should have plenty. Yeah, we could do that with this stage, and then we have an extra 3,000. So I think we'll get into orbit first. We'll do all the science around Eve, and then after that we can look into getting to Eve's moon. So let's quick save here. And we can go ahead and time warp outside. What is it? It's Gilly. Eve's moon is Gilly. So we will time warp here. First we'll leave the sphere of influence of Kerbal. And then I think we'll check, before we get close to Eve, we can check all the science to see if there's anything new. and if there's any like Eve related science. So we'll warp here now. Okay, why won't you go full speed? I will do it manually then. So you are focused on... Ah, there you are. I was like looking for the satellite. I thought this was Kerbal. But we are focused on Eve, so we are following Eve around. Okay, so from here we'll quick save. We will go to the Space Center. We will check mission control, see if anything got replaced and there's any Eve stuff. So we want to plant the flag on the moon, position that. Moon, Kerbal, moon, Minmus, Duna, Moho. Okay, so nothing new. Let's go back to the tracking center and we will go back to this satellite. We will fly you. And I wonder if, yeah, you did save the maneuver node, so that's nice. We'll go back to the map, zoom out, and we will warp to here. Only 8 days left, so that's nice. We'll go ahead and manually do this. Time warp complete. Okay. Alright, we are in the sphere of influence of Eve. World's first milestone. Injected the first flyby of Eve. Initiated, not injected. So one more day until we get to where we want to be. It'll be a 53-second burn. We can go ahead and use the maneuver planner, and we'll just execute the next node. Let's go ahead and quick save, just in case we want to go back. And we'll have MechJeb take care of this maneuver node. So there's Eve, our first look at it close up. It is a very purple planet. I think this is supposed to be the equivalent of Venus in our solar system. So probably very hot, lots and lots of atmosphere. Let's just make sure that this is still gonna do what we want it to do. And yes, it is bringing it down. And we still have lots of delta V. The only thing is our orbit is way off from the orbit of Gilly. So that kind of made things difficult for me getting to Gilly. But that's okay. We can figure it out. Let's go ahead and do our science. Stop. Oh, that's why. No probe control. I totally forgot about that. So you're just going to burn until you run out of fuel. Which hopefully is sooner than when we break orbit. I should have paid more attention to that. And this is why I don't work at NASA. Not that I would be smart enough anyways, but it's okay. So where is Kerbal from here? Is it like directly on the other side? It is. So you've run out of fuel in that stage. And you are 80 kilometers above the surface. What is Eve's atmosphere altitude? Let's take a quick look. So the Kerbal Space Program Wiki, we are on Eve. And pressure, it starts at 90 kilometers. And this guy will sink into the atmosphere. So let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. That looks like the Space Center there. So we should get a connection. There we go. We have a connection. So here we'll do another maneuver node. But right now we can go ahead and do, actually, this kind of works out nice. We will stage this right here. And this, all this stuff will eventually crash into Eve, and it will not be sitting in space around Eve. So we'll log the pressure data. We'll transmit that back. How's our power? Totally fine. That's right, we are closer to the sun, so it's going to fill up a little bit faster. We'll log this temperature data and submit that back. And that's it for that. We can't do the seismic data. I don't even know why I still have it on here, but that's okay. So now we will warp. Well, let's add a maneuver node. We'll just bring this out to about 90. That'll be 27 meters per second to get there. Let's just warp here. We'll get rid of this maneuver node. I'm not going to worry about getting it perfect. So we can get rid of this. Did you... What's happening? So point prograde. Why is that there? I don't know what's happening here. Let's create another maneuver node, I guess. There we go. So let's warp a little bit closer, just so we can raise our periapsis above 90. So we'll point that way, and we'll just do 1 tick, 2 ticks. There we go. So about here we can probably raise our periapsis again. Let's just do it from here. There we go. So that's up about 200K. When we get here, we can raise this side again. And do I want to try... set its target. Let's see what it would take to get here. We'll do a maneuver planner. We'll do that one. Create a node. That'll be 2,000. So we don't want to do that. It's in 3 minutes. So that's quite a big burn. At optimum time. Yeah, that's fine. We're not going to worry about that. We'll just stay in the orbit of Eve. Let's go back to the map, and then we'll go to the Space Center and see if there's any new missions right now. Let's go ahead and clean out the ones that we don't want. Explore Minmus, flag on Minmus, flag on the moon, Minmus, Minmus, moon, moon. We will decline contract there. I don't need you yelling at me like that. We don't want to rescue anyone right now. Space around Moho. We missed our chance on that one. Oh, so yeah, there's not really anything that's popping up for Eve. So that's fine. Let's go ahead and do our burn just so we can keep this guy in mostly stay in contact with Kerbal. So we will warp there. We can unset the target. And then we will do a burn to push our apoapsis out. So this will be a prograde burn. Can go ahead and do full throttle here. And doing it here will push this out much faster. And then when we come on this side and do it again, it'll push this out as well. So I guess we can do about 3 million or so. Yeah, we'll just go to 3 million. There we go. And then we will warp over to this side. It'll take us an hour. We'll cancel the warp. And actually, while we're here, we can do science data from high above Eve. So we'll get these two. Log pressure data. Did I already do high above Eve? I guess I did. I guess I never did low. Ah, that's because we didn't have a connection at the time. So I don't know where high above Eve starts and low above Eve is. So let's just bring it down to right above the atmosphere. That's perfect. And we will do it right about there. I'm just going to keep going around Eve over and over again. And what are we at now? We're at 100K. This should be close enough. Log. There we go. So we'll transmit that. And log this and transmit that. That's another 40 science just for a temperature reading. Okay, so we'll warp back over here. What is this? World's first. Entered orbit of Eve. Entered suborbital. Gathered first scientific data. And we will prograde this to push this out. Excuse me. And yeah, we'll bring this out to about 3 million as well. That way it's a nice big orbit. And we can cover the most area of Eve. That way when we do have manned missions or other probes come, we will most likely have a connection. Or have a connection most amount of time as possible with just one satellite. And we'll still have about 1500 delta V or so. And we can go ahead and leave it there. So not the best mission I've done, but it is a mission. And we did get some science. Let's go ahead and go back to the Space Center and check out the research facility and see what kind of science we actually do have to spend. So we're back up to 2,100. Yeah, we still have a lot of the tech tree to unlock. I think... Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of different ways we can go. It just depends on the kind of missions we want to do. We should probably start to do some manned missions and do research. We definitely want to do the research thing, which is this. So we'll go ahead and unlock that just for future episodes. Not going to do it today. Clampatron. Yeah, we'll want that for that mission. We would like to have this. The Rockomax Hubmax multi-point connector. But we can't unlock this science yet. So we'll save that for another day, but we'll at least be prepared and plan ahead for it. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. We have $1.3 million. We're going to need 1.7 to get this unlocked. Is there anything else in here that we would want to do real quick? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, Duna, Ike, position satellites. So that's fine. We'll save more stuff for next time. So if you liked today's episode, be sure to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed and don't want to miss any future episodes, be sure to subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys next time.